Gentlemen, you are the cream of the world's air forces. This country desperately needs your help. 6 months ago, an extremely well-armed and organized terrorist force carried out a coup d'etat. Attempts to free our country have been foiled by repeated surprise attacks. To avoid escalating this war and causing unacceptable civilian losses, we wish to employ your services. Surgical airstrikes and the elimination of enemy air superiority will tip the scales in our favor. You will receive remuneration commensurate with your positions as the premier top guns of the world. This is an evaluation of your operational abilities. Intelligence reports an enemy supply unit moving to resupply their forward positions. You should have the advantage of surprise. We should have localized air superiority for the duration of the operation. Target, C5A supply unit.
Ready? Break now! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Don't let him get away! Post! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! On our right! Pull out of it!
Engine stalled.
On the head! Locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Don't let him get away! Blew him away! Up ahead! Locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy locked. Wasted! Great shot! Don't let him get away! Post! Enemy in... Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. On our right! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Fire! Put it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Don't let him get away! Jesus, miss! Don't let him get away! Great shot! Don't let him get away! Jesus, miss! Stay with him! Back one! Enemy target located. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Put it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Don't let him get away! Toast! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Don't let him get away! Stay with him! Don't let him get away! Stay with him! Away! Mission accomplished!
Immediate mobilization required. Our base's position was compromised in the last enemy push. Reports indicate imminent arrival of bombers. Scramble and ace those bogies. Target, B-52 Bomber Force.
Ready? Break now!
Warning!
Enemy locked on us. Missile approaching. Dive! Dive! Take off! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Bogey on our 6. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Take off! Don't let him get away! Up ahead! locked on target. Fire!
Body
Away!
damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body
Focus on
damage.
our tail!
Alert,
Focus on our
body
six!
damage. Alert, body damage.
Up and take off! On our right! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Don't let him get away! He is wasted! Great shot!
Warning.
Enemy locked on us.
Warning.
Missile approaching. Dive! Dive! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! On our left! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bogey on our six. Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Bogey on our six. Stay with him. Jesus, take off! Enemy in sight. Jesus, miss! Jesus, miss! Back one! Bogey on our tail! Up ahead! On our right! Bogey on our six! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Bogey on our six! Stay with him! Take off! Stay with him! Don't let him get away! Out! On our left! Jesus, miss! Up ahead! On our right! Bogey on our six! Take off! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Bogey on our six. Take off! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Put it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Don't let him get away! Blew him away! Bogey on our tail! Mission accomplished.
AWACS reports an enemy incursion in our sector. We are diverting you from local air support to forward operations. Neutralize the approaching units. Target, enemy attacking force. Formation makeup is unknown. Expect enemy fighter support and a tough dogfight. Good luck.
Ready? Break now! Enemy locked on us. Missile approaching. Dive! Take off! Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus! Miss! On our left! Enemy in sight. Bogey on our tail! Up ahead! Bogey on our 6! Bogey on our 6! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Stay strong! Pull out of it!
Engine stalled.
Bogey on our 6! Bogey on our 6! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Take off! On our left! Bogey on our tail! Up ahead! On our left! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with him. Up ahead! Enemy locked. Up ahead! On our right! Enemy up ahead! Bogey on our 6! Jesus, miss! Take off! Wait! On our left! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Bogey on our 6! Enemy in sight. Fire! Take off! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with it! Back one! Enemy in... Up ahead! Bogey on our 6! Stay with Dingo! Take off! On our right! On our right! Bogey on our 6!
Caution.
Pull out of it! Up ahead! On our right! Enemy in sight! Bogey on our 6! Up ahead! Take off! Out! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Bingo! Bogey on our tail! Bogey on our 6! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! On our left! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! On our left! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Shoot him away! Mission accomplished.
Up to now, our offensive missions have been constrained by the presence of civilians in Donetsk City. A recent evacuation of that city permits us to engage hard targets within the city perimeter. Target 1, Computer Communications Center. Target 2, Enemy Headquarters Building. Night conditions should neutralize enemy ground fire. However, the city has at least 3 interceptors available. We have no intelligence on force composition. From now on, you will have a wingman assigned to you. Inform him of the operation before departure.
Ready? Break now! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! On our right! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! On our right! Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Bogey on our 6. Bingo! Yahoo! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6. On our left. Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yeah! Back one on our left. Bogey on our 6. On our left. Enemy up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! On our right! Up ahead! Great shot! Fire! Shoot it down! Here! Out! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. On our left. Altitude too low. Flying. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Put it down! Great shot! He is wasted! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot him down! On our right! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot him down! Great shot! Blew him away! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with him. Jesus! Focus on our 6. Jesus! Great shot! Oh, pull out of it!
Engine stall.
Bogey at 12 o'clock. Bogey on our 6. Take off. Great shot. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo!
Alert, body damage. Alert, body
Too low.
damage.
Climb.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Enemy in front. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot him down! Wait! On our left! Bogey on our tail! On our left! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot him down! Stay with him. Jesus, miss! Bingo! Yahoo! Blew him away! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on
Alert,
target.
body damage.
Bingo!
Alert, body
Yahoo!
damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Mission accomplished.
Reconnaissance indicates a weak link in their fuel supply infrastructure. A single pipeline transfers all crude oil from their fields to their refinery. Strike both the pipeline and the refinery. Target: oil refinery plant and oil field. Use the pipeline as a reference to the refinery. Locate and destroy.
Ready? Break now! On our left! Bogey on our 6. On our right. Up ahead. Fire. Bogey on our 6. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Jesus, miss. On our right! On our left! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! It's wasted! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight.
Caution.
Jesus, miss!
Caution.
Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot!
Caution. Caution. Alert body damage. Alert body damage. Alert body damage. Alert body damage. Alert body damage.
Enemy in... Up ahead! On our left! Bogey on our 6. Enemy locked on target. Altitude too low. Flying! Enemy target located. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Out! On our left! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with him. Don't let him break. Shot! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Bad one! Jesus! Miss! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Altitude too low. Climb! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Bogey on our 6. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bogey on our 6. On our left. Up ahead. Jesus! Bogey at 12 o'clock. Bogey on our 6. Enemy in sight. Jesus! Miss! Bogey on our 6. Oh, bogey on our tail. Take off. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Oh. Enemy locked on target. Enemy great shot. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Enemy locked on. Great shot! Bingo! Woohoo! Great shot! Enemy in sight. Enemy great shot! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Bogey on our 6. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Bogey on our 6. Stay with him. Enemy in sight. Pokey on our 6. Jesus, miss! Pokey on our 6. Wasted! On our left. Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yeah! Wasted! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Altitude too low. Climb.
Caution.
Bingo!
No altitude. Caution.
Altitude too low. Climb.
The enemy has proved to have significant resources. This war of attrition is not to our advantage. We are now targeting key infrastructure sites. Target: resources mining system and production plant. Intelligence reports stealth fighters operating in this theater. Remember, their lack of radar signature makes visual sighting essential.
Ready? Break now! Enemy in front. Up ahead!
Warning!
Enemy locked on.
Warning!
Look on our tail! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot down! Stay with him! Great shot! Blew him away! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight.
Alert! Body damage! Alert! Body damage!
Jesus! Miss!
Alert! Body damage! Alert! Body damage! Alert!
Enemy in
Body
sight.
damage!
Enemy locked on target!
Alert! Body damage!
Bingo!
Alert! Body damage! Alert! Body damage!
Shot!
Alert! Body damage! Alert! Body damage!
Enemy in sight. And bingo! Yahoo! Great shot! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Altitude too low, climb! Enemy locked, altitude too low, climb! Enemy moving on their tail! Take off! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. On our left. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Bogey on our 6. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Bogey on our 6.
Alert! Body damage!
Bogey on our tail!
Alert! Body
On
damage!
our right.
Alert! Body damage!
Up ahead!
Alert! Body damage! Alert!
Enemy locked
Body
on target.
damage!
Fire! Shoot it down! On our left! Don't let him get away! Stay with him! Blew him away! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with him! Blew him away! Jesus! Miss! Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Bogey on our 6. Up ahead! On our left. Bogey on our 6. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! On our left! Bogey on our 6. Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with him. Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! Blew him away! On our right! Up ahead! Up ahead! On our right! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Great! Wasted! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Don't be wasted! Jesus, missed! Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Altitude too low. Climb! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Mission accomplished.
The enemy's ADCRS, Air Defense Command and Radar System, has been identified. We can expect a steep drop in enemy effectiveness if this site is destroyed. The enemy has an effective SAM kill zone around the pit. Its one weak point is a narrow ravine leading to the base. This requires precision nap of the Earth fly.
Ready? Break now! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Enemy on our left! Moving on our tail! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Take out! Yahoo! Moving on our tail! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Take out! Get away! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Moving on our tail. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Enemy in sight. Moving on our tail. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Mission accomplished.
Host. Tog, staging facilities and B-1 bomb. Our goal is to hit them just before their incursion begins.
Ready? Break now! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Great shot! Focus on our 6. Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Fire! Focus on our 6. Focus on our tail! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus! Bogey on our 6. Great shot! Bingo! Yeah! On our right. Bogey on our 6. On our left. Take off. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Toast! On our left. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our tail. Up ahead. Bogey on our 6. Enemy in away. Bogey on our tail. On our right. Enemy up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Flag 1! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Toast! Bingo! Yahoo! Blew him away! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Don't let him get away! Stay with him! Jesus, miss! Don't let him get away! Enemy in sight! Jesus, miss! Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy locked in! Toast! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Bogey on our 6. Jesus, miss! Enemy in sight. Up ahead!
Warning.
Locked on us. Missile approaching. Dive! Dive!
Caution.
Bogey on our tail! On our right! Bogey on our 6! Bogey on our 6! Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Jesus, miss!
Warning.
Locked on us.
Warning.
Missile approaching.
Caution.
Dive! Dive! Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6. Enemy in sight. Take off! On our right! Up ahead! Bogey on our 6. On our right! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Jesus! On our right! Up ahead! On our left! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Bingo! Yahoo! Toast! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Mission accomplished.
Naval Intelligence report a transport heading to Nawikot Bay. Since it may be a true transport, we need to sink it before it docks. Follow up with destruction of the island port facilities. The opposition is expected to consist of an enemy fighter wing of unknown composition and patrolling Aegis warships. The Aegis missile system is highly effective. Eliminate the warships quickly.
Ready? Break now! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Wait! Bogey on our 6. On our right! Bogey on our 6.
Caution.
Pull out of it!
Engine stall.
Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6. Jesus, miss! Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6.
Caution.
Pull out of it! Up ahead! On our right! Up ahead! Bogey on our 6. Great shot!
Warning.
Locked on us. Missile approaching.
Caution.
Dive! Dive!
Caution.
On our left! Bogey on our 6. Up ahead! Bogey on our tail! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! On our left! Bogey on our 6.
Caution.
Pull out of it! Up ahead! Bogey on our 6. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss!
Warning.
Locked on us. Missile approaching. Dive!
Alert, body
Look on our
damage.
tail!
Alert, body damage. Alert, body
Take off.
damage. Alert, body
Up
damage.
ahead!
Alert,
Focus on
body
our
damage.
Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Take off! Jesus, miss! Focus on our 6.
Alert, body damage.
Enemy in sight.
Alert, body damage.
Take off!
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Warning.
Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Focus on our tail! Focus on our tail! Enemy targets located. On our left! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! On our left! Up ahead! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Great speed! Wasted! Enemy in sight. Jesus, miss! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Altitude too low. Fine!
Caution.
Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Enemy up ahead! On our left! Up ahead! Focus at 12 o'clock! Enemy focusing on our
Caution. Caution. Alert, body damage.
Take off!
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Focusing on our 6.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Take off! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Great shot! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! On our left! On our right! Focus on our 6. Up ahead! Focus on our 6. On our left! Up ahead! Enemy in focus on our 6. Fire! Shoot it down! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Back one! On our right! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! Back one! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Mission accomplished.
Your mercenary unit has proved its reliability. We request you aid. Your mercenary unit has proved its reliability. We request you aid in the extraction of one of our officers from the enemy mountain fortress. We can only send one unit without alerting the opposition. Target: cripple enemy air defense and land on their runway. Only you have the requisite skills. You will be paid handsomely.
Ready? Break now!
Warning!
Enemy locked on us.
Warning!
Missile approaching. Dive! Dive! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! On our left! Bogey on our 6! Bogey on our tail! On our right! And up ahead! On our left! Bogey on our 6! Up ahead! Jesus, miss! On our right! Enemy in sight. On our right. Fire, up ahead. Bogey on our 6. Up ahead. Fire, shoot it down. Here. Toast, on our left. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire, shoot it down.
Alert! Body damage! Alert! Body damage! Alert! Body damage! Alert! Body damage! Alert! Body damage!
Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bogey on our 6. Take off! Up ahead! Bogey on our 6. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Take off! Up Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! Focus on our 6. Great shot! Up ahead! Focus on our 6. Up ahead! Focus on our 6. Great shot! Back one! On our left! Up ahead!
Warning.
Enemy locked on target. Fire! Bingo! Focus on our 6. On our left! Enemy in. Up ahead! Focus on our 6. Up ahead! On our right! Enemy in. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Post! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with him! Go back one!
The captured port has become a key resupply facility for our forces. We cannot allow the enemy to cripple or recapture it. Current intelligence suggests the enemy is preparing a bombing raid utilizing stealth bombers. Even one can devastate the facility. Keep alert. Target, stealth bomber wing.
Ready? Break now! On our right!
Warning.
Locked on us.
Warning.
Missile approaching. Guys! Guys! Enemy locked on. Come up ahead! Take off! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! On our left! Enemy locked on. Up ahead! Focus on our 6. On our left! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Blew him away! On our right! ahead! On our right! Bogey on our tail! Enemy targets located. Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Bogey on our 6. Great shot! Take off! Back one! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down!
Warning.
Great shot! Enemy locked on
Warning,
our missile
target.
approaching. Dive!
Alert, body damage.
Bogey on our
Alert,
6.
body damage. Alert,
On our
body
right.
damage. Alert, body
ahead.
damage. Alert, body damage.
Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. On our left. And up ahead. Jesus, miss. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Wasted. Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! On our left! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! He is wasted! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! Mission accomplished.
The enemy is committing its huge mothership to this theater. They are growing desperate. Eliminate the mothership and naval mobility tripled. There are no reference points on the ocean. Pay attention to the operational map.
Ready? Break now! Enemy in... Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Flying through! Bogey on our 6. On our right!
Caution.
Pull out of it!
Engine stall.
Up ahead! Enemy bogey on our 6. Great shot! Through him away! Take off! Fire! Bogey on our 6. On our right! Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6. Take off! Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! On our right! Bogey on our 6. Enemy locked on. Take off! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. On our left! Enemy locked on target. Bogey on our 6.
Caution. Caution. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body
Enemy in
damage.
sight.
Alert. Body damage.
Bogey on our 6. Take off! Great shot!
Caution.
On our left!
Caution. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body
Up
damage.
ahead!
Alert. Body
Enemy in
damage.
sight.
Alert. Body damage.
Bogey on our 6.
Alert. Body damage.
Take off! On our left! Altitude too low. Climb!
Warning.
Altitude too low. Climb!
Caution.
On our right!
Low altitude.
Altitude too low.
Warning.
Climb! Bogey on our 6. Take
Alert.
off!
Body damage. Alert.
On our
Body
left.
damage. Alert. Body damage. Alert.
Up
Body
ahead!
damage. Alert. Body
Bogey
damage.
on our 6. On our left! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! On our left! Up ahead! On our right! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Here! Out! Bogey on our tail! On our left! Enemy in sight! Enemy in sight! Up ahead! Enemy in sight! Enemy locked on target! Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with him! Don't bingo! Yahoo! Shoot him away! Enemy locked on target! Great shot! Enemy in sight! Enemy locked on target! Great shot! Enemy in sight! Up ahead! On our right! Enemy in sight! Bogey on our 6! Great! Altitude too low! Climb! Bogey on our 6! On our right! On our right! Up ahead! And up ahead! On our right! And up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Jesus, on our right! On our left! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Jesus, miss! Jesus, miss! He's wasted! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Woohoo! Mission accomplished.
Despite the elimination of all fuel refineries, the enemy continues to conduct operations. You are assigned to recon for undetected fuel supplies. Even though this is just recon, engage and eliminate any opposition patrols. Good hunting!
Ready? Break now! Up ahead!
Warning.
Lock on us. Missile approaching. Dive! Dive! Bogey at 12 o'clock. On our right. Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our tail. On our left. Take off. Enemy in sight. On our right. Bogey on our 6. Enemy up ahead. Take off! Stay with us! Bingo! Yeah! Enemy in... Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. On our left. Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot him down! Here! Toes! Bogey on our 6. Bogey at 12 would take off! Enemy locked on target. On our left! Bogey on our tail! On our right! Up ahead! On our right! Bogey on our 6! Up ahead! Take off! Jesus, miss! Bogey on our tail! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Here! Toes! On our right!
Warning.
Locked on us. Missile
Caution.
approaching.
Alert, body
Dive!
damage.
Mission accomplished.
Our recon work has identified the last fuel depot. Go and bomb it flat. Target: a group of fuel production bases. The enemy is using its top guns in this theater. Keep focused. Good hunting.
Ready? Break now! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! On our left! Bogey on our 6. On our right! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Bogey on our 6. Jesus, miss! Enemy in sight. Take off! Enemy up ahead! On our right! Bogey on our tail! Enemy on our left! Enemy in sight. Up ahead!
Warning.
Locked on us.
Warning.
Missile approaching. Dive! Dive! Enemy in sight. On our right! Altitude too low. Flying!
Caution. Low altitude.
Enemy
Caution.
too low. Flying! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. And on our right. Bingo! Yahoo! Altitude low, flying. On our right. Bogey on our tail. Enemy in sight. On our left. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Shoot! On our right! Bogey on our tail! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Wasted! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Altitude too low, flying! Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6. Great shot! On our left. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Great shot! Bogey on our 6. On our right. Up ahead! Bogey on our 6. Warning! Enemy locked on us. Missile approaching. Dive! Dive! Enemy in sight. Take off! Back one! Bogey on our tail! On our right!
Warning!
Enemy locked on us. Missile approaching. Dive! Dive! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! Bingo! Yahoo! Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus! Blew him away! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Blew him away! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. On our right! Enemy in... Up ahead! On our right! Enemy... Bingo! Altitude too low. Climb!
Caution!
Bogey
Low
on our tail.
altitude!
Altitude
Caution!
too low. Climb!
Alert! Body damage!
Bogey on our
Alert!
6.
Body damage! Alert! Body
Bogey on our
damage!
6.
Alert! Body damage! Alert! Body damage!
Enemy in sight. On our right. Bogey on our 6. On our left. And up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Bingo! Bogey on our 6. On our right. Bogey on our tail. Take off. Enemy locked on target. On our left. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Blew him away. On our left. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Jesus, miss! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Don't let him get away! Quick shot! Don't let him get away! Stay with him! He's wasted! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Quick shot! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Enemy in sight. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Jesus, miss! Enemy in sight. On our left! Enemy locked on target.
Warning.
Too low, flying!
Warning.
Moving on our tail! On our right! Enemy targets located. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6. On our right! Up ahead! Quick shot! Back one! Up ahead! Enemy in... On our right! Up ahead! Bogey on our 6. Wasted! On our right! Up ahead!
Warning.
Enemy locked on us.
Warning.
Visual approaching.
Alert
Dive!
body
Dive!
damage. Alert body damage.
On our right!
Alert body damage.
Up
Alert
ahead!
body damage. Alert
left.
body damage.
Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Altitude too low. Flying!
Caution. Low altitude.
Mission accomplished.
operations are concentrated on the Superiority Island fortress. The base itself is a hard nut to crack. We'll isolate by eliminating its bridge and central runway. Target: red suspension bridge to the island and its air base. There will be plenty of ack-ack and SAM defenses around the runway. Go in for one pass, then break off operations.
Ready? Break now! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. On our left, bogey on our 6. On our right, bogey on our 6. On our left. Up ahead. Fire. Bingo! Bogey on our 6. On our left. Up ahead. On our right. Up ahead. Fire. Shoot it down. Great shot. On our left. On our left. Up ahead. Fire! Shoot it down! Blew him away! Jesus, miss! Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Down. Jesus! Bogey on our tail! On our right! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with it. Jesus! Miss! Don't let him get away! Jesus! Miss! Stay back one! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Jesus, miss! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! Here's toast! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! And up ahead! Bingo! Yahoo! Bogey 12 o'clock. Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our 6. Enemy locked on target. Take off! On our right! Up ahead! On our left! Up ahead! On our left! Up ahead! On our left! Bogey on our 6. Stay with him. Great shot! Don't let him get away! Back one! Bogey on our 6. Enemy inside. Up ahead! Take off! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Jesus, miss! Don't let him get away! Jesus, miss! Bingo! Yahoo! Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Wasted! On our left! Up ahead!
Warning.
Lost the missile approaching! Dive! Dive! Jesus! Up ahead! Bogey at 12 o'clock! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! Enemy target located. Stay with him. Great shot! Back one! On our right! Enemy bogey on our 6. Altitude too low. Climb! Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our 6. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with him. Great shot! Don't let him get away. Blew him away. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Altitude too low. Fire!
Caution.
Enemy
No
locked on
enemy.
shot!
Caution.
Too low. Fire! Mission accomplished.
The enemy is on his last legs. One more strike, lay him out. Take your unit through the ravine to the enemy headquarters. Intelligence is sketchy on force composition near the headquarters, so keep on your toes. Fly low on your way in. Everything above the ravine is a SAM kill zone.
Ready? Break now! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Here! Out! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot at that one! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Wasted! Locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus! Miss! Hook on her tail! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! Hook on her tail! Mission accomplished.
Urgent message. Enemy giant airborne fortress discovered. This may be your final task. Eliminate it before it reaches our airspace. Good luck.
Ready? Break now! Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Bingo! Yeah! Hook on our tail! On our left! Hook on our tail!
Caution! Caution!
Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Don't let him get away! Stay with him. Don't let him get a Jesus, miss! Enemy in sight. Fire, shoot it down! Enemy in sight. Fire, shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Don't let him get away! Jesus, miss! Don't let him get away! Stay with him! 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 Enemy in sight! Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with him! Don't let him get... Jesus! Miss! Stay with him! Don't let him get away! Jesus! Miss! Stay with him! Don't let him go! Pull out of it!
Engine stall.
Approach at 12 o'clock! On our left! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus! Miss! Enemy in sight! Fire! Shoot it down! Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with him! Don't let him get away! Stay with him! Enemy in sight! Enemy in sight! Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus! Miss! Don't let him get away! Stay with him! Jesus! Miss! On our left! Bogey on our tail! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target! Fire! Shoot it down! On our right! Up ahead! Stay with him! On our left! Enemy in sight! Enemy in sight! Fire! Shoot it down! Stay with him! Don't let him get away! Stay with him! Don't let him get away! Stay with him! Don't let him get away! Wasted! Enemy in sight! On our right! Bogey on our tail!
Caution.
Enemy locked on target! Bingo!
Caution. Caution.
Enemy in sight!
Caution.
Enemy locked on target! Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight!
Caution.
Enemy locked on target! Bingo!
Caution.
Yahoo! Enemy in sight!
Caution.
Enemy locked on target! Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight! locked on target. Great shot! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight.
Caution.
Enemy locked on target. Bingo!
Caution.
Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Locked on target. Bingo!
Caution.
Yahoo! Enemy in sight.
Caution.
Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Enemy in sight.
Caution. Caution.
Enemy locked on target. Great shot!
Caution.
Enemy in sight.
Caution.
Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo!
Caution.
Enemy in sight.
Caution.
Enemy locked on target.
Caution.
Great shot!
Congratulations. The enemy has capitulated and the coup has failed. The rightful government has been restored to this peaceful country. Your skill as Top Guns changed the balance. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you.